Entering a new vendor invoice. Some features discussed in this video are not available in all the editions of MaxxTraxx. Please visit scottsystems.com for comparisons between the different versions. MaxxTraxx contains a built-in parts inventory tracking system. This feature can track parts purchases, returns, and sales of individual part numbers entered into the system. The key to this process is inputting the invoices when you receive parts or fluids from your vendors. This video will cover the basics of entering those invoices. Please note this process is not used when writing a purchase order for parts or supplies. For more information, please see our video titled Creating a Purchase Order in a Repair Order. First, let's go to the Setups menu to look at the parts inventory settings. Click on the gear icon in the upper right corner of MaxxTraxx. Find the General column, and then to the left of the window, click on the line B, Repair Orders and Part Invoices. When the RO and Part Invoice Setup window opens, click on the Inventory Setup line. Within that window, there are several checkboxes we need to review. First, the Track Inventory box should be checked if you're indeed tracking inventory. If you're planning to add catalog parts to the list, check that box. Next is the Add Buyouts to Inventory List button. When that box is checked, parts you buy from online vendors through a repair order are automatically added to the parts list. You can select whether they are added as a buyout part or an inventory part. A buyout part is classified as something you would normally not stock, or an inventory part is something you would normally have on your shelf. Most shops that track inventory have the required placeholders to be replaced and required parts on RO to be stocked in buttons checked, but that is optional. You should take some time to familiarize yourself with the various options on this page. Click OK once you have reviewed the selections. When you have received a vendor invoice for parts, go to the Parts drop-down and click on the Vendor Invoices button. At the next window, click on the Input Received Vendor Invoice button. Find and select the vendor the invoice is from. It is very important you do not select the wrong vendor. The target amount window will now open. Type in the total amount of the paper or electronic invoice you are holding. Verify that amount and then click the OK button. The Open Vendor Invoice window is where we will enter the parts listed on the vendor invoice. Click the Add Line Item button. As you can see, there are several options in this drop-down, including returns. You should take time to familiarize yourself with all the options. For this video, we'll concentrate on adding a part from the parts list. Click on that line to open the Parts Search window. Locate the parts you are entering on the invoice in the search window. If the part is not on the parts list, click the Add Part button and add it to the list. For more information about this process, see our video titled Adding a Part to the Parts List. With the part line highlighted, click the Select button. In the window that opens, verify the quantity of the part ordered and that the cost matches the invoice. In the middle of the window, choose whether the item is for inventory stock or reserved for a repair order or part invoice. If it is reserved, select which repair order or part invoice it will be assigned to. For this video, we will assign the part to stock. Once you have reviewed the information, click the OK button. The part information is now transferred to the invoice. If you have more parts to enter, go back to the Add Line Item button and continue until everything on the invoice is accounted for. When you're finished adding all the parts, the total on the invoice should match the target amount. If it does not, look over the invoice for additional charges such as freight that may have been applied. Use these boxes to account for the additional charges. Remember, these amounts are not applied to the price of the part. They are considered an expense. Once the totals match, review the screen to make sure the other information is correct. When ready, click the OK button. At this point, you have three choices. If you need to finish the work later, save the vendor invoice. If it is ready to close out, choose one of the two options to update the inventory and either pay it now or post it to accounts payable. Be sure the information is 100% correct if you pay or post the invoice. When you choose one of these two options, it cannot be voided or deleted. You must write a credit for the parts and completely redo the invoice. For more information about that, please read our knowledge base article titled Invoice Posted to the Wrong Vendor. For directions on paying the vendor bill for this invoice, see our video titled Pay Vendor Invoices or Bills. We hope you found the preceding video helpful. MaxxTraxx team members are readily available to provide personal assistance via several methods as shown here, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Thank you for watching.